Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. Guys, I think it's fucking finally happening.
I think it's freaking finally
We've
happening.
we
Yes.
oh you don't have to say freaking. This is uncensored. You can say fucking. This is the fucking moment right
It's a
here.
moment. Oh my
We
God,
might be
yes.
getting fucking fairies.
We might be
Okay.
getting fairies. It's happening!
It's happening. Holy shit. Like I woke up this morning and I was just like I'm so I'm honestly I'm so fucking miserable today. I'm so hungover. I have 3 days of hangover culminating into one. It was our Canadian long weekend.
I
This
see, got it.
so like I went to a cot or farmhouse and just drank. I played the game. How much vodka can you handle? Like it's a great game. I won.
Oh my
I
God, I
won.
can't believe that considering how small you are too. Jeez.
I know. Oh, I like held my own. And I was like, what the like I literally
Mhm.
like I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at my phone and I was like, what? I was like, there's fairies coming to the Sims, and they're like, fuck off. Get back to work. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I
no, it's
truly can't believe it. Now, do we think it's real? Do we
okay.
think
So yeah, so there. Okay, so the thing is, right, that I've been talking about fairies coming out ever since I started being a content creator for The Sims, right? Like it's been an ongoing joke. Every time there's a roadmap, anytime there's any kind of announcement, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fairies. Like it's
yeah.
absolutely gonna be fairies, right?
Literally.
And it's actually like apparently it's not just me. Like Lil Simsy does the same thing where like every year she does like a this is what I want in The Sims, and she always has a slide for fairies, right?
Mhm.
Plumbella is the same way. Like that's a thing, right? Um, so this morning, actually, Court sent me the message from the Sims community,
Mhm.
which has not been wrong about everything that's come out, right? So to give the fans a little bit of, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of tea, right? Um, so before burglars were officially announced, I may have known about it. I may have known about it. So the fact that they came out with it is pretty clear that they have some kind of insider source about the things that are happening inside of EA, right?
Mhm.
Um, I can't say why, but I'm pretty confident that this is probably true, right? So I think that this is what's going to happen, right? The leak indicated that Enchanted by Nature is the title of this upcoming pack, and again, the reason we know about it and the reason why it's probably so likely that it's true is that it came out in Instant Gaming. So, to give a little bit of background, Instant Gaming is a website that is responsible for selling keys for games, not just The Sims, right? They'll sell CD keys for like Xbox games, PlayStation games, PC games, etc. And as we know, whenever they get any indication from EA or another company that a game's coming out, they put up like a placeholder to indicate that this is going to come out, right? And in this case, Instant Gaming got a little too ahead of themselves and they released The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature, right? So we have a little bit of descriptions. We have a little bit of like a synopsis of what we're going to be dealing with, right? And I think what we should start talking about what it said on that website, right?
Mhm.
So it says, step into nature and let it touch every part of your Sim's life. Bring the outdoors inside with potted plants or live fully off the land by develop natural living skill to rest, eat, and bathe comfortably under the sky. Sims not taking care of themselves may end up manifesting in ailments which can be healed at an apothecary table. Diving deep into the new gardening and foraging finds to craft potions or protect Sims from occults. Apothecaries may end up becoming a naturopath who helps other Sims as their daily job. As Sims explore the new world, they may discover fairies just beyond their normal everyday life. Fairies can be mischievous and give Sims ailments, or become a fairy who enhances nature, helps in the garden, and instantly blooms plants. For Sims who just want to bask in the beauty of nature and grow new magical plants, or gather ingredients to enchant any plant to take care of them, there's a lot of new life to help with the chores. So that's the description. There's a lot happening there, right?
Mhm.
Um, so to me, it kind of sounds like Enchanted by Nature is going to be like, oh God, how would I say it? I don't even know the right word. It's like outdoor girly themed, like being out in like living natural life. You know what I mean? Like just being out there, like living in like God, I don't even know how to say it. Like the inclusion of an apothecary is so like fantasy coded. You know, like you're gonna be making potions and like
Mhm.
protecting your sim from like vampires and stuff like that. Like I would be surprised if this wasn't like medieval themed. Is that
Yeah.
crazy? You know what I mean? Like the concept of like an apothecary being out in the forest, you know, living off the land. It kind of gives that vibe. Like not castles and stuff like that, but like just being out in like, not modern, I guess for lack of a better word, right?
Hmm.
And then of course naturally fairies, right? We have the mention of fairies. Um what's scary to me, and one of my community members actually said this, is that the way that this is worded kind of indicates that maybe we won't be able to play as fairies, more so that fairies will just exist, like they'll be like a creature.
That would be such a missed opportunity, though.
I
It,
agree.
Wasn't there one part there that said that you could become a fairy?
Yes, so I'll read it again just so that we're on the same page. They may discover fairies just beyond their normal everyday life. Fairies can be mischievous and give sims ailments, or become a fairy who enhances nature, helps in the garden, and the boom plants. So, yes, there is that one sentence that indicates that you could become a fairy, right? But the way that it's worded makes me wonder, because of the discover fairies, that I guess is what scares me a little bit, right?
yeah.
Um, what what they're gonna be is concerning to me, right? Because when I had pictured fairies, or when I thought like if I could, so if Gonz can make a fairy pack, right? Like, so let's talk about Gonz's fairy pack,
Okay.
right? So if I could make fairies, what I would do is I would build an entire world, like my neighborhood, my world for the expansion would be based around like the smallest patch of land that exists. Like you'd basically be mini. And in order for you to go to this world, you would have to turn into a mini creature, right?
I'm thinking
So
it's me.
yeah,
Mhm.
so basically the way you would imagine it is like the world would be like giant mushrooms, maybe like a discarded can in the ground that became a building. Like everything would just be mini and you would be in this big world, right? Now,
Mhm.
that's not a difficult thing for you to picture, because it would basically just mean big items in the Sims. Like there would be no functional difference. You would just be in blown up areas, right?
Mhm.
Everything would be mushrooms, nature grass, very kind of almost like Realm of Magic. Like if you're thinking vibe, Realm of Magic would be the vibe that I'm giving, right?
I actually, to interject
Hmm.
here,
Yeah.
my idea is a kind of a combination of what we have in Life and Death,
Hmm.
a bit of country living vibes, and Realm of Magic all wrapped into one. So
Okay.
you have, like Ravenwood, you
Hmm.
have a like more of like a Henford looking,
Hmm.
but more whimsical.
Right.
And then there is one way to enter into basically the ghost realm, like you have Ravenwood, but
Yep.
instead you have this smaller realm that you can
For the
go in
fairies. Got it. Yeah.
for the
Hmm.
fairies, and
Hmm.
then you could become one while you're there.
Hmm.
And you know, if you are one, you can go like wreak havoc
Right.
like within the world, but you maybe can't do that if you're over there yourself because
Mhm.
you're basically in the small world versus the large world.
That's like, yeah, that's actually a great idea. Like if you were to conceptualize it, right? Like look, if you're looking at the map, so yeah, you'd have a place like Henford, right? You'd have like just like a little like, nature area, right? And then maybe like there's like a little like potted plant in like the forest that is actually the actual neighborhood part of it. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
expands, and you're now in like a larger area of it, for sure, right?
And I think they
Um,
could show it off like they do with Ravenwood. But
right,
I could see them doing it more like Realm of Magic, where
right,
you go into the world, but you can't actually live in that area. Whereas
correct.
in Life and Death, you can go live in
Correct.
there.
Yeah, I think it would very much be like you could just be present in there. Like there'd be shops and things to do. I don't necessarily think that it would you'd be able to build there. However, the thing that scares me, especially because of what we're reading, right? Um, it seems to be less magical than nature from what we just read, right? So like, yeah, there are fairies, right? But the whole idea of this pack seems to be about ailments. That's an interesting word that they're using, right? Ailments. So there's going to be like new debuffs or new moodlets that can affect you in some way negatively, right? And that you'll need an apothecary to cure you of that, right? Um, but that doesn't sound necessarily like magic, and I think that's kind of a missed opportunity because a lot of people like there's basically like three types of simmers right now. There's simmers who need fairies in any capacity, like they just need it, like me. I just need it. Like I need wings. Like I need wings in my life, or else I'm gonna have a problem, right? Then there are other simmers who could care less about fairies, but they want the build buy of a fairy pack. Like they want like the mushrooms and like the fairy the lights and like all like that's what they want. They want that aesthetic more than anything, right? And then there's other people who just couldn't give a crap. Like they're just like, I this is stupid. I don't want this, right? Where's my fashion like Vogue pack? Like that's all I care about. You know what I mean? Like that. So those are the three types of simmers, right? And my concern from what we're reading is that the pack is going to be more about like nature and like living on the land, and there just happens to be fairies rather than it being all about fairies. You know what I mean? Like that's what scares me, right? Because if it's just like a whole bunch of like if it's just cottagecore, then like I'm gonna like pitch a fit. You know what I mean? Because like how much more cottagecore can we get? Like how much more cottagecore are we gonna fit in there? Like was Henford not enough? Like what like do we need more of it now? Like I don't know. Like it scares me when reading this stuff, but I am excited about it. As far as how the
Sorry, another
no, go ahead.
thought. So what if they didn't make it like Henford-y? What if they made it more Icelandic? Because
Mhm.
in Iceland, you can actually get a university degree
Yeah.
in this
Mhm.
topic. So it would be fun if they like used that a little bit more and
Mhm.
made it look more like Icelandic or have like a blue lagoon or something. I could see them
That would
going
be awesome.
that direction too. I would be more disappointed.
Well,
Well,
I mean, we went from Scandinavian down to Icelandic. Like we're getting all the white people out of the way. Let's just get all the white people out of the way.
okay, but I was thinking like the same thing. They're gonna pick it like a Scandinavian world. They're
Yeah,
gonna get Scandinavian builders to build the
yeah,
lots. I mean, which
yeah.
I'm very happy that we are seeing that a little bit more. But I think they're gonna kind of deem more into like the fairy lore and the different types of fairies there are.
I hope they do.
I hope so.
I hope they get the good and the bad though, because there are bad fairies out there. And
And that they definitely hint at that in the because you can be a mischievous, so
Mhm.
you can be the Tinkerbell that you want to be for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, I going back to the topic of like where this is from, and again, we need to focus on everything to kind of grasp what we're going to be looking at. The word apothecary, and I'm sorry that I keep coming back to it, is very specific because apothecary is a Greek word, right? Like that's its origin. It's a Greek word. Um, and I don't think that we're going to get a Greek world. I don't think that's going to happen, right? But we only ever saw it in Latin, French, and English, right? Like that's really where that word, really popped out of, right? So is it gonna like I don't think it's gonna be like an African world or like a Mediterranean world or anything like that. Like I think it will be very like God, correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have a French world? Am I just being stupid? Like, do we have a French world in The Sims
No,
4?
we do not. The closest thing we'd have is like more of like in Italy.
Well, I
Well,
mean, Willow Creek, New Orleans is kind of
yeah,
French.
that's more that's more like Louisiana, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But so the
Oh,
reason go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say maybe it would make sense for them since they've done something that was so like clearly Scandinavian.
Mhm.
If they did go like completely magic,
Mhm.
it doesn't look like anything that exists, sort of thing. I
Yeah.
would. that would be more strategic. I am surprised they're going more apothecary route because
Mhm.
like they really could have gone Peter Panish with it and like
Yeah,
incorporated pirates. You know what
Mhm.
I
yeah.
mean? Like, but yeah, I just don't. It doesn't sound like they're going that direction.
Yeah, no, I think so let's pay, and again, we have to have this conversation, guys, in order to understand what the fairies are going to look like, right? Because we all have a fairy idea in our head, but we have to understand what it's setting up so that we better understand what's going to come. And I think the first sentence tells us a lot about what this vibe is going to be. So the first sentence was live fully off the land by developing nature living skill to rest, eat, and bathe comfortably under the sky, right? So I wonder, is this going to be one of the first worlds in The Sims where we're not going to have buildings?
Hmm.
Is it going to be like a bunch of parks, a bunch of wildlife?
Druids.
Exactly, right? Like is it going like are we actually going to have houses here? Right? I know that's crazy, but like
But it's not because again, like in Realm of Magic, there
mhm,
weren't any houses. So
mhm.
like maybe you could go into this world and not technically like live in it because you're
Hmm.
not you don't have your own house there
Right.
and you're
Correct.
just living
Yeah, but
within
correct, but if you have the ability to like sleep on a cot or sleep in a tent, that actually says a lot.
a
Um
flower on a petal because
exactly. But exactly. Exactly. So I yeah, so I think what we might see, and then this goes back to what Court said, is that I think what we're gonna have is we're gonna have a world, but then we're gonna have something kind of like and I'm blanking on the name and I feel bad about it. That one vacation world that's basically like a wilderness camp. I forget the name of it off the top of
Granite
my head.
Falls.
Grand is it?
Outdoor. Oh, it's outdoor something. I
It's
No,
can't
outdoor
it's
remember.
yeah,
retreat,
yeah,
isn't it?
Granite Falls. Yeah, but Granite Falls, that you're absolutely right. Right. That's one big camp, right? Like it's
Yeah,
one large thing, right? So I think what we might have in this is that we're gonna have like a park or some kind of like wilderness area that's gonna
yeah.
be just huge lot where you're gonna be able to just hang out, fish, do your thing there. And I think that's where we're gonna see fairies. So what are these fairies gonna be, right? In The Sims 3, right? Which is when we first saw fairies. Now let me backtrack on that. Technically, fairies have been in The Sims 1 and 2, I believe, but they weren't like an official occult. They were just like people with wings that you saw in like different aspects. I know that they were in Making Magic in The Sims 1, right? But like as far as the occult is concerned, we see them for the first time in The Sims 3, right? So in The Sims 3, right? You could actually be like a regular like fairy. Like you could have like the outfits, like the very nature outfits, the wings. You could decorate the wings to be whatever you wanted. They didn't have to be like standard butterfly wings. They could be like fire wings or ghost wings. Like you could customize the heck out of it, right? It was beautiful. I loved it so much, right? But they had a way to turn into like a little like flying colored sphere, kind of like Navi from the Legend of Zelda. Like you could actually just become a little floating thing or whatever, which I thought was really cute. And they actually had concepts of like a fairy house in The Sims 3. You could ride on like model train sets. You could fly into lamps and stuff. So you actually had interactions where you could become very, very tiny, right? And I like to believe that and this is a grander conversation, but I really believe that The Sims 4 uses The Sims 3 as a template for a lot of things and not The Sims 2. Again, mermaids are a good example, but they just straight up copied it, right? So I think that the fairies that we're gonna get in The Sims 4 are gonna be very similar to The Sims 3. So you're gonna have the ability to dress up your sim, you're gonna have your wings, you're gonna have your outfits and everything like that. And you're gonna be able to become tiny. Like you're gonna be able to like kind of like how ghosts can possess things, right? I think you'll have the ability to like possess an object, like fly into an object, right? I don't think that you'll be able to become like a little teeny tiny orb that just flies around because I don't think that they have the mechanics for that. Like how would you handle that, right? So I don't think they'll do that, you know. But I think it's going to be standard fairy. I think it's just going to be like every other fairy. But I have to add something here that I was talking about earlier It hasn't been mentioned, but I'm going to say it, okay? It would be a crime if they did not refresh Plant Sims with this pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Plant Sims have been the most underutilized, like, quote unquote occult in the game ever. Like, you literally eat a fruit, you become green, and you can talk to flowers. Like, that's basically what a plant sim does, right? The fact that they're going full in on like nature and plants and stuff, that if they didn't make Plant Sims be a proper occult, that would be a huge, just a huge L from EA. You know what I mean? And being able to hit the ground running with Plant Sims and Fairies all in like one, pack would be huge in my opinion, right? But I'm really excited. I think we're gonna get the fairies that we've always wanted. Now let me ask you guys a question though. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you want it to be like werewolves or vampires where you have a fairy form and a regular form, or do you want a fairy to just be a fairy all the time?
Court, you go
Uh,
first.
Both. I'd like to be able to switch on and off.
I'm the same. I'd like to do both.
Mhm.
Better way to, what if my fairy wants to have a day job and then be a fairy at night?
So like putting your wings away and everything, just like
Yeah,
be like a regular person. Okay.
yes. I think what I'd love to see is if you were a fairy, but you were trying to hide your wings, that they turn into a tattoo on your back or something like that.
Oh, that'd be a great idea, actually. I love
Yes.
that. I love it. Yeah, I think I'm of two minds because there's gonna have if they don't do something with size manipulation, it will be a miss, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like fairies. So fairies exist in The Sims, like in The Sims 4. Like let's clear that up real quick, right? There are fairies canonically in The Sims 4. The secret grotto in Willow Creek, I believe, has like little flying orb fairies in it, right? And then there's also like
Sylvan
a
Glade. You can go
Sylvan
Google.
Glade, yes, Sylvan
Yeah,
Glade. Thank you, thank you, thank
I
you.
was right.
So the Sylvan Glade, that's definitely right. And then there is a secret club that actually worships fairies within The Sims 4. Um, and again, the fairies are just little orb things that fly around. So they are canonically in the game, right? So if they suddenly rewrote it that fairies are just normal sized people that just happen to live around the world, just would be stupid. Like that doesn't make sense, right?
Can you go back to Sylvan Glade though? Like,
Yeah.
if the world looks like that, oh,
Mhm.
I love filming in Sylvan Glade. And
Mhm.
if you're there and you go close to the waterfall and you like look into
Mhm.
the bushes, you can see these red evil
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no,
Um,
it's beautiful.
it would be
Yeah.
fun if you brought more of that lore into it through fairies.
100%. I think that Life and Death was definitely like an eye opener for the Sims team because it showed them that if you delve into the more fantasy aspects of it, people really dig it. Like people really like it, right? So I really hope that this world is very magical, like in its presentation. Like I want to see sculptures. I want to see, you know,
Oh,
floral arrangements that are unique and almost a little alien. And I mean alien, not like Alien in The Sims, but just like alien looking. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, that's what I want to. That's what I want to see. Like it needs to hit hard with the build buy. If the build buy is subpar, it will just people will be like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." You know what I mean? Like
and they
it's
have so much to pull from too. Like you really could go like Alice in Wonderland with
yeah,
it. There's
yeah,
so many things that you could pull references from, which the Sims are known for doing. Like we just did mermaid
mhm,
conversation. Like there's a lot of Moana and
mhm,
Ariel tied into mermaids. They're not above that, so it would be interesting if they tried to do that, and
yeah,
because it ultimately is what people want.
Mhm.
yeah. And there's also in every expansion that's come out, so I like to when I talk about The Sims, I like to say that there is the for rent era, like anything before for rent and everything after for rent, because after for rent, the Sims team had a way different approach when it came to like expansions and packs and everything, that they started delving way more into the worlds that they were creating, right? Like very heavily, right? So for example, like in businesses and hobbies, which I wasn't expecting when I was playing with it, there's like a ton of like lore and Easter eggs to like previous games, like huge herbs, like the Sims herbs references in there. And I ask myself, like, if they do a fairy pack, who are they gonna bring from previous games? Because they're gonna bring a family back from previous game. And I really sit and I ask myself, what could they do? Like, what could they reference? Because when I think of
Midsummer Night's Dream family,
say that again.
Midsummer Night's Dream family from the Sims.
Yeah, that's an option. Another one would actually be, which I think would be funny, is that if they did the Sims 2, where they did the Capulets and the Montagues, because one of them was actually elves, like one were humans and the other ones were elves or whatever. Which I like, Veronaville, I think was the name of it in The Sims 2, right? So if they had them come back in some capacity, I think would be great. Speaking of, since we actually just said the word, I mean, elves is something we haven't ever talked about. Like should they have elves as a trait? Like if they, okay, I don't, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't think they do. Do they have elf ears as a regular ear option in Kaz?
They do not.
They do not.
I can happily answer that. Someone who has had to fucking search to find it in game. They do not. There's ways to do it, but it's not like a
got it. Yeah. That I think would be huge if they added that to Kaz, like elf ears and like more hair with accessories in it. You know what I mean? Like being able to have like a hair and hats that are not hats, but like maybe just flowers in the hair, or like
wreaths of flowers.
Exactly.
Like the first thing that comes to my mind is the CC creator that does, I think it's Miko, who always has the flower crowns.
Yes.
Like that in The Sims would be fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's really. So I think that if they were to go with a route, just like going back to the conversation we were having earlier, if they chose to say, oh, we're going to make it a French world or a Scandinavian world or an Icelandic world, I think that would be a mistake, because confining to a culture, which is great for like a magical being, would limit what they could do. Right.
Agreed.
Because they also don't want to be insensitive to the culture if you just suddenly have something that just doesn't match at all. Right. So if they went full magical, like just like standard magic, full on, I think that would be incredible, right? And I think that's ultimately what we're gonna get. I'm really excited to see it. The wings, I think the wings are gonna be the single most important thing that they do, because if they don't get that right, you're gonna have a problem. Because in the Sims 3 wings, they were pretty. They were really pretty, right? But again, it's difficult to like be like, anything is nice in The Sims 3 because everyone has same face syndrome in The Sims 3. Like the game is just generally ugly. Don't hate me, it just kind of is, right? So adding like cute little wings to The Sims 3 was nice, but like in The Sims 4, which is a naturally cartoony game, right? What are they gonna do? Because if it literally just looks like wings that are just bolted on your back that don't move, that's gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like I want to see them actually kind of like breathe with you, like they move, like they sway on your back. I want them to be able to, like, your idle animation should be that they kind of open and flutter for a little bit and then they close down. That's what I want to see. You know, that's my concern. And if they don't do that right, then I think it's gonna be a hard miss, right? So I'm really excited to see it. I haven't been this excited for a pack in forever. Like I've been waiting.
Saying this since I've known
you. Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment, but I also know the level of expectation. Like this is the one thing people have been talking about. Like this is the pack that defines whether the Sims team is listening, right? Like if they fumble this, we have a problem, right? And they have to hit on 3 factors. and they can't miss on any of them. The first one is the build buy, right? So as you guys know, Journey to Batu is the single greatest pack in the entire Sims game. That's just straight up, all right? Let's just leave that. I'm gonna keep saying that till I die, right? But build buy debug is insane, right? So this pack, if it's fairies, needs to hit that level. Like everyone needs to use the fairy pack in their build buy. If that's where it needs to hit, right? Like you need it. Like if you're a builder, you need this pack, right? Two, the Kaz needs to hit. Not only for the wings or whatever, but you have to have floral crowns, flowing dresses, leaf dresses, like dresses that look like they're made out of leaf completely. All of that, right? All of that, right? Nails, everything, right? And then of course they have to hit the actual fairy aspect, right? Like we need to have proper fairies as an occult, a new occult type. Like those are the three things that they need to hit. It needs to happen. There needs to be a fairy woohoo. If two fairies woohoo, they need to have a fairy woohoo. Like two fairies woohooing in a cup. That needs to happen.
Ew.
Like
For debug, it would be so cool if they made like a mushroom house, a boot house,
yes,
like
exactly.
things that look like they're houses. They don't necessarily have to be houses. Maybe even in cottage living, there's Michael Bell, who's like the animal
Yes.
whisperer or something.
Mhm.
That's not what his title is. It's like the animal keeper or something. But yeah, he like has a beautiful house that you can't actually go into, but like you could have
Yes.
different things like that
Mhm.
are just such a combination of like Alice in Wonderland, the Shire, like
Mhm.
well, maybe
Yes.
not even Shire. Like it would be so cool if it was more like Rivendell, like inspired.
No, I think they have to like I think we need to see kind of like the elvish aspect of it, right?
Mhm.
The like
Like that
everything is
should be another
curved.
world.
Yeah.
Like, we need to
Yeah.
feel like otherworldliness of it, or it's not going to hit properly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant earlier when I said that if it's just Henford on Fagley with fairies, that's not the right move. You know what I
No.
mean?
Mhm.
I think
Um
you're right. The mushroom houses and like
yeah.
everything miniature, like people would go ballistic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Can you tell them to do spiral staircases next?
Yeah, spiral staircases. You know what? There could be a fairy pool table. I don't know. Maybe they just play pool.
No, exactly. No, yeah, it's like I said, there's a lot of aspects to it, and again, um, I've noticed that with the Sims team, especially for packs that come out, they sort of have to hit a lot of different like um aspects to a game, like to people, like sorry, to players, in order for it to hit, right? Like I think a good example would be like in Tomarang, for example, from For Rent. You had the very Asian inspired areas, but then you had the very city inspired areas, right?
Mhm.
Similar to in Love Struck, you had the very like bodega, like little like areas, but then you also had like the high rises and all that, right? So to Court's case, I really think that she's right in that you're going to have a very standard cottage core Henford on Bagley kind of world. Nothing crazy. It'll just be like a pretty like outdoor area, right? And then you'll have a section of the world that is like the fairy glade, right? Where it'll be like all mushrooms and craziness and everything like that. I think that's how that will like play out. I think that if they did like a three neighborhood kind of thing where like you had like the nice fairy place and then you had like the regular world and then maybe you had like the evil fairy place that's all like dark and like
Oh,
spooky
that
and
would be
everything like that, that would be really cool too. So you kind of have like competing sides, right? Where like you have like dark, like very scary, and then you have like really bright and chipper or whatever all in the same area. I think that would hit really hard too.
that would be
So
amazing. I don't think they'll go that deep though, but
Fingers crossed that they do, though.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
They've been exceptional about their world building recently. And again, they do it in such a way that it's there if you want it, and that's it, right? They did it with businesses and hobbies. They did it with life and death. Um, and to be honest, like I spend a lot more time in Nordhaven than I do in Ravenwood. Like I love Ravenwood, but I just spend more time there because it's just a little bit more fleshed out of a world. I like it. It feels a little bit better. Um, so I'm curious. I'm curious to see how this plays out. I hope it's not a vacation world. I think that would be a mistake if it wasn't just like a full world. And like I said, I'm really excited to see it. The good news is that we're not gonna have to wait a long time. I mean, the leak says June, July, and actually, Lil Simsy earlier today actually said that that we always get a pack in June or July. Like almost always, we get a pack during that time. So it's definitely coming soon. Like it's something's coming soon. We just don't know what it is. So I'm excited to really see it. I'm super stoked.
I,
I
I'm ex
think
I'm excited, but I'm a little bittersweet of like what else is left for The Sims 4 at that point. Like what else
a
more can they give
drone
us?
pack, zombie pack.
I understand like zombies and cars and open world. Like these are like the things, but like
Yeah.
everybody wanted horses. We got horses, and then we forgot that we had horses. So I'm just kind of scared that we'll get the fairy pack. We'll be our fairy princesses for 20 minutes and then kind of be like,
So
okay,
so
we
that's
got it.
but you see you made a good point, but again, a great point, right? So as I said, I split the Sims as things before for rent and things
Mhm.
after for rent, right? And I remember when Horse Ranch came out and people were like, "Oh, it's so cool to have horses and everything like that," and then no one ever makes a horse anymore.
Yeah.
Like unless you are like a horse fanatic and you love horses, you don't mess with them, right?
Mhm.
I don't think they're going to make that same mistake here. I think that they're going to make it integral to the story. But as far as where they go next, I think it's important. Court, I believe, mentioned this earlier, but they're rebranding. The Sims is rebranding, right?
Awesome.
They're changing their branding. But what's very important to notice is that if you look at all the rebranding of the packs and everything like that, it says The Sims,
Mhm.
not The Sims 4. It's just The Sims. So like The Sims get to work, The Sims, businesses and hobbies and stuff like that. So I think that they're moving the direction towards just there isn't like a Sims 4, it's just The Sims. Like it's just The Sims moving forward. So I think that everything that happens moving forward is going to just be iterations of that. Like they're just going to build new systems. They're going to build new occults, new concepts into the game. I would actually love to see that. I want to see something new. So far, everything that's come out has been some iteration of the previous games.
Mhm.
I want to see new.
Then
I
what's
want to see.
new? What's new though? Like what is new that's never been done in the Sims franchise?
Damn, that's a fair question. Um, I would say something like we don't have shapeshifter proper. Like we have werewolves, right? But being able to shift into different creatures would be fun. Like being able to shift like a deer or like a tiger.
Okay.
Like
You know,
like an anamorphosis kind of idea?
exactly, like an animagus.
An
You know,
animagus? Okay.
yeah, something like that. We also have damn, that's a fair question when you think about like what hasn't been done in The Sims. The Sims has been going on for 25 freaking years. At what point do we have new ideas?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a fair question. But again, company makes millions of dollars a year. You would expect them to be able to figure something like that out. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna think about this forever. Now I'm gonna sit down. I'm just gonna make this my life. Just figure out what they could do.
Yeah, I can't think of anything new. I do think like they still need to do hotels.
That's true. Yes, they do have to do hotels. Yeah, but I don't think that they're going to do that for a while. And the only reason I think that is because they've been iterating on the whole concept of like lot refreshes. Like, for rent introduced the multi apartment rents, and then businesses and hobbies with the small business system. Like they've been doing a lot of
Hmm.
like lot stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're going to get hotels because it's too similar to businesses for right now. You
Yeah.
Hmm.
know, so I don't
And
think
they
we're going to get
need
there
to
for a
go
while.
medieval at some point. Um,
Yes.
which yeah, so that's another part.
If I ever catch whiff that they're gonna be doing a medieval pack, I'm gonna email EA and be like, Juby Sims need to make a castle on that lot. Like you have to do that.
Yeah.
Like I will literally like stake my reputation on it and be like, all right, Juby needs to make a pack here. Like that needs to be your thing,
I
you know?
agree.
Like, well, I think they know her though. Like they've definitely done like shells with her and stuff too.
Yeah,
Like it would,
yeah,
yeah, it would be the biggest injustice if the cast.
yeah. Yeah, no. She's part of the EA credit network, and they work with her, and absolutely, absolutely. I just want to make sure she gets more recognition where she deserves it for sure.
Agreed.
Oh, that would be amazing. That and like get Kate Emerald to do
Oh
one.
my God.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I hope so. I know Kate had some drama with the last one, so I don't know if she's how keen
Oh.
she is, but yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you, Gonz and Disney, for
Mhm.
coming here today. I'm so excited about fairies, even if it's 10% of everything that we've talked about. I think this is gonna just be a pack that everyone's really, really excited for and kind of get everyone
Agreed.
excited again. Now, my only hope is after this pack, EA just takes a hot minute and let's just take a pause on releasing packs for the rest of the year, okay? Like, give us fairies and we'll see you in 2026. Like, just deep breath. There's so much. Okay, let's just call a space. Like, there has been a lot of content come out in 2025 for EA. Like
Yes.
a lot. Like a
Yep.
lot. And it is a lot of money
Yes.
to everything they're putting out, right?
Hmm.
So at this point, like, let's get into like that would be 2 expansions this year. That's a lot,
Yeah, that's true. That's
right?
true. Yes, yes, yes. However, I mean, there's an argument to be made that like this whole season, yes, there was an expansion pack, but it's just been kit after kit after kit, like just
Yeah.
kit for forever. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's kits. It was
Hmm.
the Sims 1, Sims 2
Hmm.
re-release. It
Yes.
was My Sims on PC
Right.
and 30,000 kits.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
like, but just like calm down with the fucking kits.
Yeah, I
Like,
think. Yeah, I think that's so. That's yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a whole other conversation we can have. But ultimately, I know that there's a growing consensus that says, thank you for the content. Please fix what's broken. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like the game is fundamentally like pretty messed up right now, and it's one of those things too because it's unfortunate because a lot of people are like, oh, the game's super broken, I can't load my save, and other people who don't have that bug are like, well, I'm perfectly fine, I don't know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
if you play the game in the full extent of like using all of the systems, especially for rent, you can actually brick your saves and just completely break them. So like the game needs to be fixed. But I think what people don't also realize, however, is that two separate teams, right? There's like
Yep.
a team working on bug fixes and there's a team working on new content. It's just, I can imagine that as a consumer, you might be wary to try something new if it'll break your game, as is evidenced by, for rent and things like that. So,
Yeah, I get it. You're right. Two
mhm.
different teams and something that I've also come out and said. I'm like,
Yeah,
it is hard to do an IT ticket for everybody, for everything
right.
specific. It comes down to your computer. How old is it? Do you have mods? Do you have other games? Is it up to date? How much space you have? There is no way to make that perfectly for everybody,
That's right.
right? So, I don't,
100%.
I don't know. I'm curious. I'm so excited for fairies, but I'm curious
Me
to
too.
see what else may come. Hopefully in 2026. Give us like honestly, I want a game pack.
Yes, everyone's been talking about that. Yeah, I've heard some things saying that like fairies, why weren't they a game pack? Because werewolves were game packs, vampires were game packs, Realm of Magic was game packs. So why wasn't fairies a game pack, right? So there's an argument there. And again, I I'm hoping that fairies are not just a tacked on aspect of a greater expansion. I hope that they're everything about this expansion. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
really hope so. And I have reason to worry that they might not be. But again, I'll say this. When I heard about Life and Death before I got access to it, and I got early access to it, before I got access, I thought it was the stupidest idea I'd ever heard. Like I remember telling Court when I heard about Life and Death, I was like, this is stupid. Like this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. I think this is gonna be dumb. Like who cares? Like like this is gonna be. And then it came out and is single handedly one of the best expansion packs the Sims 4 has ever made. You know, so I'm hoping this is another one of those cases where we're just reading like a little blurb, and it maybe doesn't sound all that exciting, but then it turns out it is absolutely amazing. So only time will tell.
I agree. Like you said, I think this pack's gonna make or break it. We now have more life simulator games around the corner. If they don't nail this pack, I think
Mhm.
people are gonna start jumping ship more.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. It won't be Inzoi, but it definitely something
It's
will come
definitely
along.
not Inzoi. God no. Somebody asked me if I was gonna play that. I was like, no. No, it just looks fucking weird. It
You
doesn't
know,
it doesn't look
yeah,
real. It just doesn't look real. It just
I exactly. I've so it's really funny because I was probably one of the most vocal like people against Inzoi when it came out, and I got a lot of crap, like a lot. And I've just been sitting here watching the concurrent play count every week go from like 20,000 when the game came out to like 3,000 a day, right?
Mhm.
And like I just sit there and I'm like, this game is going nowhere. It's dead. And like you kind of see like my comments on my videos going from like, oh, you're a shill, you're a shill, you're a shill, to like maybe this guy is making sense. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. Like I don't know. Like it's obvious to me what's happening there. But that's a topic for a whole nother conversation. But yeah, absolutely, you're 100% right. Right, the quality needs to be there, and if the quality's not there, then you're gonna have a big problem.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, Gonz, Disney, thank you so much for coming here today. Gonz,
Yeah,
where can we find you?
absolutely. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch at My Name is Gonz.
Disney, where can we find you?
At the Disney Sims.
Well, the links are going to be below. Please go check out Gonz and the Disney Sims. Thank you so much for coming here today. If you've liked this podcast, please consider subscribing so you never miss an episode. I have an Instagram page, Stassi J Sims 4. I post things sometimes on this there that are Sims based. Other than that, I got nothing else that's super exciting besides Fairies. 2025 was not on my bingo card this year.
It wasn't on my vision board, but I'm excited.
I'm so excited. We will definitely have to do a podcast once we actually finally get details, which knowing EA will probably be tomorrow. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, there was a leak." And yeah, we got to talk about it. Like, yeah, like
Exactly.
it just came like a day early before we were going to announce it. So, we shall see. But anyways, have a great rest of your day, everybody. We will chat very soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.